And thank you to all the previous speakers. And to you who are here tonight in Embacadere, in San Fernando West, listening to this meeting, as well as those of you on Warner TV, and tonight on 91.9 after 10. I want to say to you tonight that I am very pleased, very, very pleased, not only with your attendance, but by the quality of the speakers. And what is important for me, as I look back, is to come to Embacadere and say to the people here, I'm sorry. Because again, in Embacadere, we have failed the people. In 2010, when I came here with Caroline Sipasad Bechan, we told the people of this section of San Fernando, we told them that we would have improved their lives. We told them that we would have given them sport facilities, basketball courts, and so on. We told them that we would repair their homes and even move some of them to bigger homes. We told them that we would help to bring down crime and to reduce unemployment. All in this area, we told them so. And 5 years later, nothing has been done. So therefore, in some ways, I too take the blame, because like you, I too was fooled. I too was fooled into believing that this dream that we had in 2010, the dream of a country that would be more prosperous, less corrupt, a country where the races will live in harmony, I thought that that would have been realized by 2015. Sadly, today, in many ways, we are worse off today than we were in 2010. As a young man, I used to look up to Dr. Eric Williams as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. As a young man, especially in his early days, I say I want to be like he. I'm sure there are many of you who will say the same thing about A.N.R. Robinson. You want to be like him. Others also would have said they want to be like George Chambers, unassuming, honest, straightforward. And many more would have said they want to be like Pandey. If Pandey come here now, this whole place lights up. But today, if anybody says, don't be like Kamala, they're a madman. If anybody wants to be like Kamala in this country, you have to be a madman. A woman. When I was there in 2010, like you, my friends, 2010, I thought that Kamala was the best answer to the country. I was happy to have a woman as our first Prime Minister. I was happy to have a woman who had been our first Attorney General. And I was saying, like many of you, better days are coming. I said so. I did not know that this first female Prime Minister would also have been the first woman to have led a government as corrupt as this one. I did not know then that this first female Prime Minister would have been one that would have led this country along the most divided or the most divisive section you can find. Today, the races here are more polarized than they ever have been, thanks to Kamala. I did not know then that this first Prime Minister would have been the person who would have had the record for having fired 24 ministers and having one retired. I did not know. I did not know that this Prime Minister, this first female Prime Minister, would have been so blind to the fact that she would have been a devoted follower of Sat Maharaj. I did not know. In 2010, I did not know that this Prime Minister would have brought in Devant Maharaj in her cabinet, and in doing so, she would have brought in what represents the epitome of racism in this country, Devant Marriage. I did not know. But all those things I could have passed. But I did not know that this Prime Minister had ganja and marijuana in her home. I did not know. And let me tell you something. I won't tell you again, as I said last night. I kept this for 2 years. For 2 years. And this is not revenge, not vengeance. For 2 years, I kept this because I felt that Kamla was a victim of the cabal. And therefore, I blame Suraj and Munilal. I still blame them. They are disgraced as parliamentarians, as ministers. But I used to blame them. But I tell you, the blame stop. The function is the blame must go to Kamla. In other words, my grandmother told me, a fish never rots from the tail. A fish rots from the head. And Kamla, as a fish, is as rotten as ever. I tell you tonight, I reported to this nation what Richardson told me and showed me on his phone, 4 ounces of marijuana outside the compound. After 3-4 days of hemming and hawing, the Prime Minister makes a release that says it was outside her compound, the area where, of course, the security forces patrol and so on, and she was out of the country. Exactly what I said. They could dance if they want, pick out whatever date they want. The date they want to pick is not relevant. What is relevant, 4 ounces of marijuana were found under the sill at 7 in the morning. And then today I read where 5 grams were found in the male toilet in the gazebo. So therefore there are 2 sets of marijuana. One found on the 12th and one found on the 19th. And 2 joints I just heard about. So in other words, in Kamla's compound, you had 3 sets of marijuana. Gary Griffith says 2 joints I didn't know about. I was told 4 ounces on the 12th and shown the picture by Richardson on the 12th. And then Gould discovered on the 19th some in the male toilet. But let me tell you this tonight. For the first time, I want to tell you this. Kamla has 2 homes. One in Philippines and one in St. Clair, the diplomatic center. Diplomatic center, thank God. I don't want to see her yet. That is for them going to library. She has 2 homes. I tell you, they have found marijuana and ganja in one, but they're smoking in 2. Right? And I will tell you more. I will tell you more as we go along. I have no problem with that. When I was reading, a friend from Belgium sent me from Belgium. Yes, sent me today a WhatsApp and said, go to the Express. Look on page 24 of Monday Express. What do you see? You in Belgium telling me go to the Express, Monday 15, page 24. So I went. It's easy, you know? I saw this ad, and the ad says the sign of a victory, but just below the ad, they say get stoned today. Not me today. Get stoned today. Now tell me, I didn't put this here, you know. This is the ad. And this is the page they choose. And we like fools did not even notice. We did not know. Get stoned today, what that meant. Look at here. And if you're laughing, gib. You're laughing, gib. Serious business, you know. Serious business. And let me tell you something. No worker No worker would take the chance to come through Kamala's gate with all the security she has with marijuana. None. Secondly, also, if the security forces found the marijuana there at 7 a.m., it was there before 7 a.m. It was there before 7 a.m. And tonight, I want to make one other challenge to Kamala. Kamala, for your sake and the country's sake, tell them who is Christian. That's all. Tell the country who is Christian, Kamala. I go further to tell you, to tell Jit Hardin, a special reserve police officer, ask him to tell us who is Christian. Because if she does not, and if he does not, in 2 weeks' time, I will. I will. I will. I gave them 24 hours to talk about the marijuana. They didn't talk about it. I talked about it yesterday. Tonight, I gave them 2 weeks. Tell the country who is Christian. You see, the point is, you have to understand that what Kamala has done is to violate the sanctity of a prime minister's home. You could never have found Eric Williams. Never. With all his faults, you could never have found Eric Williams coming close to ganja. You couldn't find Chambers. You couldn't find Robbie. You couldn't find Bass. You couldn't find Manning. In fact, Manning was one of the most graceful of all. He dressed the part, he acted the part, and so on. You couldn't find Manning in that nonsense. And therefore, I'm saying, if these guys had lifted the bar so high, Kamala, why do you bring it so low? Why do you bring it so low? And therefore, we are making the point to you tonight that this issue will not rest. I said to you before, I say again, friends, listen to me clearly. The issue of the marijuana is a small issue in the light of those that have to come. That have to come. And the time has come for the real Kamala to be exposed. Because you know what? She's asking to be re-elected. And if in the first 5 years she could have been so bad, God help all you in the second 5 years. She has to be re-elected because she's Teflon Kamala. God in front and I behind. Kamala, let God go in front and you go nowhere. Nowhere. My hands are clean. My heart is pure. My hands are clean. My hands are clean, she says. My heart is pure. She can't be serious. She couldn't be serious. And I'm saying to you also tonight, if those things are found when Kamala is not there, can you imagine what you'll find when she's here? Can you imagine what you'll find when she's here? And for 3-4 days, they make it sound as if I'm a liar. For 3-4 days, they make it sound as if Dennis Wren is a liar. Her job was on the line for a start. And I couldn't take it anymore. Because far too often, there are persons in this country making excuses. Always turn this country, there are attempts to cover up. Cover up. Guy Stephen, left, right, and center, cover up. Evil is being done after evil, cover up. And therefore, if you cover up, and you continue to do so, you don't like this country. You don't like your children. We can't go on this way. No country can go on this way. And therefore, it's in this context. Tonight, I say to you, enough is enough. You have a choice, you know. You have a choice. September the 7th, you could go and vote for Kamala and the PP and take what you get. Take SIS, take alcohol, take ganja, take marijuana, take what you get. You have a choice. Or you can do the correct thing and vote for the best party in the land, the ILP. The ILP offers you what the other parties don't offer. We offer you representation, action, performance, and honesty. Look around you, you'll see for yourself. Look around you. Today at 2:30, Dukaran resigned. 2:30. Dukaran say he can't take it no more. But Dukaran wait almost 5 years to do that. And I said to Dukaran, it's much too late. Dukaran resigned today, and he said that the cup of today is the worst thing he has seen. Dukaran said that the cup of today is his biggest disappointment. And I agree with him. Because what he did was to give cup to Dolce, the lawyer. Another drug lord, to Dolce, the lawyer. And therefore, what you expect, Dukaran? What you expect from a spineless man as Prakash? What do you expect? And Kamla's problem is that nobody tells Kamla the truth. They tell Kamla what she wants to hear. For years, Kamla goes home on a Friday evening and comes back on a Wednesday. Is the only worker in the country that has a 5-day weekend. A 5-day weekend. And don't ask me, ask Gary. I didn't say so. I say so. I know that. And when, of course, she can't make it in town on Wednesday, she called a meeting in Chancery Lane Hospital on Thursday. I have never seen that in my life. You asked for the job as Prime Minister. You asked to be head of a government. And you have refused to serve. You have abdicated your responsibility to this country. You have done that, Kamla. And no amount of spin, friends, no amount of spin could change that. You know, tomorrow you'll hear all kinds of things. She call on your phone and they talk to you at 8 p.m. She send text messages and so on because her spin doctor on yours, right, is working mile a minute to do the impossible. He's the highest paid man in the country, of course. I understand that. But at some point in time, you have to understand that you have to be fair to the people. All of you, put your faith in Kamla. Wasn't me alone. They blame me, yes, I take the blame. But she couldn't win with one vote. She couldn't win with one vote. And therefore, all of you who are hiding now because of shame and guilt, I say stand up and be counted. But don't stand now. Stand on the 7th of September and be counted after 6 p.m. For the ILP, of course. You have to bear in mind that we now are at the crossroads. We as a country, we are at the crossroads. And you could either sink or float depending on what you do with this finger. And you could tell me, I went today throughout the Commonwealth. To find out if any Prime Minister anywhere in the Commonwealth ever had ganja in the house. There was not a single one. Last Friday in Parliament, Kamla was telling me at the media how Gypsy gave her a tune by melody. Shame and scandal in the family. I told Kamla then, Kamla, today is the shame, but tomorrow is the scandal. And you'll hear. All right, I'll go stop now. All this rain. Oh, come on. I don't want to get wet, man. Come nearer. Right. So we come now as one big family now. And therefore, let the rain be a blessing in disguise, man. So I'm saying to you, I went through all the Commonwealth, some 53 countries, to see if there was ever a Prime Minister whose residence, where you had found marijuana. There wasn't one. The only person I met in history is the mayor of Washington, a fellow called Marion Barry, smoking coke in a room with a prostitute. And he was dismissed. And I'm saying to you, therefore, since you have your doubts about Kamla, as many of us have today, since you have your doubts about your friends, I'm saying to you, you have to do the correct thing. You can't ask her to be like Marion Barry. She won't be. but you can have a chance to put her out from where she is. And you have to vote her out. You have to. And don't expect that you'll get at every meeting like this a bacchanal piece. Because no, the bacchanal has to be timed. Because you have bacchanal until September the 6th. You have it September the 6th, and they'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. I tell you, when I bust the last one, who were dead, badly wounded. Kamala has to be exposed. She has to be. And therefore tomorrow, we in Library. Tomorrow. Next week, Wednesday, we in Rio Claro. Next week, Wednesday, we in Maruga. And Thursday, we in Rio Claro. And you'll hear us throughout the country. But I will end as I began. Kamala, tell this country who is Christian. Who is Christian, Kamala? And Kamala, if you can't remember, ask the Special Reserve Police officer, name is Jit Hardin. He will tell you who is Christian. And Kamala, if in 2 weeks' time you'll tell us, I will tell you. I will tell you. Friends, good night.